Welcome to my summer garden. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in growing zone 8B and we are in southeastern North Carolina. I have been so excited about this Monday Meandering tour because finally my lilies are all out in bloom at the same time. Now my day lilies here, you can see they started earlier, so they are ending earlier, but my Stargazers are out, my Tiger Lilies are out, but I am so excited to tour you around the yard to show you what else is happening. Today is the day that we get to tour around all of the beautiful things that are happening that are brand new since the last time you saw it. The last time you saw this flower bed, these Tiger Lilies were barely opening up. Now you can see there are more open blooms than there are just plain buds. Between the Tiger Lilies up here and the Stargazers down here, which are also blooming all around the yard, I just was so excited to show you this little scene. The daylilies are a little bit spent at this point, which is slightly sad because it would be more delightful if all three were in full bloom at the same time. Nevertheless, perfect summer garden scene. Just below the lilies, I have the coleus planted in the ground. I more or less have been trying to keep the flowers or the seeds from forming on the top of the coleus just so it could put more energy into the foliage itself. But nevertheless, look how sweet and delicate those flowers are. And from the coleus right in front of it to this silver mound, the Artemisia, that is just the softest plant you have ever touched. It's looking so gorgeous and full. The fun thing about the Monday Meanderings is that we bounce all around the yard just to see what is looking gorgeous. In the Poolside area, all of my perennial hibiscus are showing off. Now it has been over 100 degrees these last number of days. So we have some blooms that are feeling tired and spent, and then some other ones going to take their places. In the succulent garden right beside the pool, not only is this autumn joy sedum doing amazingly, reaching out with all its little rosettes and, oh my gosh, sweet little arms, but look at this other succulent in the background. Now this is the part that's new to me. It's like Little Bo Peep's cane over here. And look at these gorgeous flowers adding some color into the succulent area. As if those rosettes in the pot weren't enough, that gorgeous little cane is just so stinking cute. The poolside gardens as a whole look pretty good, especially from a little bit of a step back where you can't see some of the blooms that are just getting tired over there. But it's okay, everything will bounce back because we have some sun tolerant and drought tolerant plants. And with the heavy temperatures that we had, we did get a bit of rainfall, but not a whole ton, not as much as everyone would love during a time that's so oppressively hot. Over on this side though, we still have the Starry Night perennial hibiscus blooming. This one is just so standout. I feel like the blooms are always just like this, so plentiful, so large. The veining in them is outstanding. It looks great. And over here I have a hibiscus that has been overwintered 3 or 4 winters now, and it keeps coming back, which I love and I'm thankful for. This isn't even the best show of the bloom. This is the Fiesta hibiscus, which is stunning because it's multicolored. I wish there were even more of those to show you. At least I have more buds coming our way. The planters continue to look pretty decent. As I have said in the past, it's like the sweet potato vine down below is looking good and more full, but the irisine, maybe the more heat, maybe the more sun, I'm not sure, it gets, the more bleached out some of the petals are, or some of the leaves are. And then of course you have some of the darker ones kind of tucked in to the banana trees. To the far side of the poolside gardens, this canna lily that was given to me from a friend this year looks so gorgeous. This is the second yellow bloom that I had. This one is already expired. And you can see when the canna lily blooms expire, this actually turns to seed. There's seed pods inside of here. I do have my dahlias that are the Tahiti Sunrise in different stages of bloom as well. Looking directly at the waterfall, my purple bougainvillea. Oh my gosh. I love this plant and these flowers so much. The little tiny flower that it gets in the center of its own flower. The mandevilla that stays in the waterfall could probably use a good watering at this stage. But most of the flowers have still stayed vibrant. And we still have a ton of blooms all throughout. This planter here with the Majesty Palm and then the elephant ears and these petunias, this has really surprised me because it looks amazing. I mean, it just looks so good even despite the heat or the lack of rain. And these exact petunias were actually on clearance when I went to Walmart yesterday. I nearly bought more, but I decided no. I'm going to hold myself back from doing that because I really don't need any more. And I actually feel quite proud of myself for that because I don't think I've bought a new plant in at least a month now. Largely because I knew I was going to be going on vacation and I didn't want to have to worry about a new plant. But also I just really haven't been going to the garden center like I had been at the start of the season. The coleus over here that is in those window box planters, I really do have to get it transplanted. I really do have to separate it up so it can show off in all of its glory and gain even more size. The Gomphrena seedlings from my mom, they are doing great, putting on even more size, of course. So I'm thrilled about them and the fact that I have 3 different colors. And the Dragon's Breath Celosia seedlings, I'll have to start transplanting them into places where I actually want them to be. Inside the rock garden, things look pretty good overall. I still have the Salsa Red Sombrero in full bloom, fading out a little bit just because we've been blooming for a while, but still looking pretty good. My yellow hibiscus, each day with new blooms. And of course, my echinacea there in the back is probably the biggest clump of this style echinacea that I have. So I love it as well. The mums are still blooming behind it there in orange. And I have the cordyline that I overwintered in the ground coming out with more vibrant coloring on its foliage. And just behind everything, my black-eyed Susans are beginning to open up. Funnily enough, as we take a look from this angle, the pink blooms that you see in here is actually blooming crepe myrtle. That's right, I have a crepe myrtle baby that's in there. And it is like among the first of my crepe myrtles all over the yard to be blooming. But those are starting out in the front and I'm going to show you those next. Just because they are my favorite lily, I have to show you more of the Stargazers that I simply divided up from the bigger plant that you saw next to the Tiger Lilies, and I put them here. So these guys are fabulous, once again, not just because of their coloring, but also because of their scent. Oh, I wish you can smell the screen here. They smell divine. So out into the front yard gardens where I have some things that are still from winter that need to be transplanted. I need to take them out, actually, not transplanted, take them out. New things need to be put in here. I did want to show you my very first Dahlia Motto bloom. I started this baby from a bare root, and so I do have a lot of buds on it. My first bloom ever, and this is the first time I've had this style dahlia. Also, at the same time, I have this Dusty Miller over here, and that huge stalk that I have on it is now blooming itself. I have to say, this is absolutely not my favorite, but there it is anyway. Now that perhaps the worst of the heat is behind us, I say worst of the heat because of course we're still going to have tons of heat all summer long. But maybe now I can get out here and do some things like clipping back the mums. You know, they have to be cut back and deadheaded completely. But I'm still going to appreciate the things that are looking great, like my little lime punch hydrangea, of course the lantana, my tomato plant getting more ripe, and my front porch planter still kind of holding their own for now. In the peninsula garden. So this is what a crepe myrtle looks like right before it's about to bloom. And then, boom, 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 a bloom looks like this. This one has just started to open up for us. So I got some blanket flowers. I still have some twilight primrose, the pink blooms in there still going from the spring. I got some coral canna lilies popping up. I have some guara, both in white as well as in pink over here. And I have this gorgeous gomphrena, which was a purchase, not one that my mom gave me. And this one is just delightful. More tiger lilies in bloom right here. Once again, they spread quite easily by dropping these black seeds that you see along the stems. But I moved these plants around so I can have them in multiple places. And out here on the island of Misfit Toys is another place. So additional tiger lilies here. And this is quite a bunch. So they have not opened up as much as the ones inside the back fence yet. But we're getting there and they're awesome. And then lots more orange between the canna lilies that I have out here and this gorgeous Crocosmia, which I just love. The delicate fiery red flowers. And the sun-kissed coreopsis still going. Lots of beauties. Even though my oleander plant here, these were just the suckers from the stalk of the oleander stem that I cut down, has gotten quite tall. Still no flower buds on it yet. But the one that I propagated and planted right next to it, still blooming the whole year so far. And then of course this is just another kind of canna lily here. I don't think to mention this pot frequently for some reason, but the cordyline pot that I have, this is the cordyline that overwinters in the greenhouse that I've had for years with the purple heart draping out of it. The purple heart is always huge, dramatic, full, Parts of the plant that drape out of the pot and touch the ground begin to root in the ground. So I really should mention this more because it is a fabulous performer. But here we are taking a look at it. Thank you so much for joining me in the garden today and for touring around all of the beauties and the awesome things that are happening right now. As I said in my last full garden tour, I actually think that this time of year is even better than the May garden tour, which I always thought was the most mind-blowing. I hope you found some beautiful color inspiration or flower inspiration. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And until next time, you guys, happy planting.